Hey everybody! So in this video we are going to talk about something that we've noticed not a lot of people really talk about. And that's the idea of looking back at memories that you were present for and still feeling like you're looking at somebody else. Now, in our case, we know that that is to some degree related to the fact that there have been many splits since many of the events that we look back on, but it's also a product of the dissociation, that depersonalization that makes it feel like you're not real kind of carries over into looking at images of ourselves, or at least our body, and going, that doesn't look like me. So, like for me, I will look back at pictures from when we were a kid or a teenager or any of those other times in our life, and it feels like I'm looking at somebody else. Like I'm looking at a completely different person. And it's always a weird thing to try to explain to people because it's like it's me physically, but it doesn't come across as me, Even though I was the one present for the picture that I'm looking at and I remember the event, it doesn't look like me to me. It looks like some stranger. And even just looking back at the person that I was 5 years ago, I was a very different person. Even looking at the person that I was a year ago, it's interesting because of the influence that we all have on each other through passive influence and just through being a person with DID and having, multiple people in one headspace, we're not always gonna feel the same. Like, I could go out and something sounds like a really great idea and I do that thing and it's great fun, and then the next time somebody wants to do that thing and they invite me, I don't want to go. Doesn't sound interesting at all. And that's because it depends on whose influence I was getting. But that's the thing. Who I am as a person is influenced by everybody I share a headspace with, by what's going on, if there's any triggers happening, positive, negative, or otherwise. And so I'm never 100% certain on looking at any image whether or not I'm looking at a stranger or myself. Like, for me, when I look in the mirror, I see me. I see what our body looks like. I feel tied to our body. I see myself. The others have told me on multiple occasions that when they look in the mirror, they see me. They don't see themselves, and it makes them uncomfortable. It feels like they're looking at somebody else. Well, I feel the exact same way when I look at a picture from a year ago or 2 years ago or anything like that. I don't feel like I'm looking at myself. And it's because I've changed a lot since then, and so it really is like a different person. And there have been splits since then. We have had a couple of different occasions where there was splitting happening in the last few years, so it's not surprising that it would feel weird and different, but we feel like it's something that a lot of people don't really think about. And it's that whether you're the host of the system or have any other role in the system, who you are can change a lot over time, can be influenced by your system mates, can be influenced by your circumstances. And so you don't always feel like you, if that makes sense. Like, in the early days of diagnosis, it was really hard for me to tell when something was mine and when something was somebody else's. And with looking at these pictures, I know I was there. I remember it. I have had continuous memory of it the whole time. I know it was me present for the picture. But it doesn't feel like I'm looking at myself. It feels like I'm looking at some person who no longer exists. And it's one of those things that's really odd. And I don't know if any other systems ever go through this, but it's just a strange feeling. And so I guess we were curious, does anybody else ever experience this? Because even the others, when they look back at pictures, you know, and memories that they were present for, you know, they feel like they were there, but when they look at an image of themselves in the mirror, it's like they're looking at me or a stranger or something that just doesn't look right. So I guess I just wondered, do any other systems out there look at pictures and feel like you're looking at a stranger? Does anybody else feel like who you are changes so much month to month, year to year, that it's not the same? You know, that you are not the same. Because being polyfragmented, we have a lot of people. I get a lot of passive influence. And we have a lot of co-consciousness now after being in therapy for over 10 years. So it just is weird because it feels like who I am individually is not the same person as I was before. It feels like I'm different. And it's just something that I've always found really odd. Like, in therapy, we're often told to look back at memories to work through them, and we have special positive techniques for doing that that help to keep it from being re-traumatizing. But when I look at those memories, it feels like I'm looking at a different person. It feels like I'm looking at someone else, even though I was present for the memory. It's just an odd sensation. So, yeah, I guess that's it this time. But hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Have a good day, everybody.